Hey girls, really quickly before we get into the video, I wanted to show you the shampoo and conditioner that I use on my curls today by our very own Tracy Ellis Ross. The name of the product is Pattern. This shampoo and conditioner is really good with hydration and moisturizing those curls, so get into it, girls. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. It is your girl Patrice, and welcome back to our very own Comfy Convos video. I'm working on it. I am working on an intro, some type of theme song. But you guys, before we go ahead and dabble into what this video is about, I did put a clip earlier just showing you guys the shampoo and the conditioner that I use for my curls. And I want you guys to get into it. Get into the curls for the girls, okay? I really want to share that with you guys. You know, I love to share things that I use and stuff like that. So I just figured maybe somebody would want to know and would ask me, what did I use in my hair? So that's what I use, Tracy Ellis Ross shampoo and conditioner. I use the medium. I think it goes from probably like different strength as far as how tight you want your curls. And I don't like my curls to be too tight, so I went with medium. I really like it. It makes my hair super soft. It hydrates, it moisturizes. It is super, super dope. So if you have not checked out her products, definitely check that out. I purchased mine from Ulta, and I will link it in the description box below for you guys so you can get it, okay? So let's go ahead and get into the video. So as you guys can see, this video today is going to be about motherhood. Come on, girls. Go ahead and show them guns, because motherhood, you gotta get them guns. I'm gonna work on a definition of the guns. They there. I'm strong though. I'm strong, because to be a mother, you gotta be a little strong. That's our superpower, women, motherhood. So yes, go ahead and make sure you subscribe to this channel. Subscribe, and go ahead and thumbs up the video. If you're interested in topics like this, let's go ahead and have a chit chat, ladies, about motherhood. Now, what I do want you to know, I want to tackle what I consider like, I kind of categorize 3 different types and forms of motherhood, right? So we have our category of moms who have biologically given birth to kids. You know, we have that motherhood. We have women that's going into motherhood, are soon-to-be moms. And we want to, talk a little bit and give them a little bit things for the soon-to-be moms to kind of like look out for, what to expect in motherhood. And then I want to also talk about or tackle a little bit about my women out there that are probably having a little bit of a difficulty or health issues or whatever the case may be, a little bit of a stumbling block, trying to be really, really sensitive with that issue with having children. I don't want to speak on the health issue as far as why you can't have children. I'm not going to talk about that, but I want to talk about for those women in that category of ways that you're still considered a mom in my eyes, for moms who haven't biologically given birth to a child. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's tackle these on, ladies. Let's go ahead and have a good chit chat together, talking about something that gives us a little superpower. So for anyone who does not know that is new to my channel, once again, my name is Patrice. I am a mother of 3 biologically, and I do have stepchildren as well. But I will be speaking about motherhood for my 3 children that I mother, because I have been mothering them since birth. And then my stepchildren, they have moms, so they are being mothered and taken care of by their mothers. And I just be the stepmom, Tracy, that I call myself. It's my nickname. And I just dibble and dabble when I need it. And I'm like the good girlfriend mom. Like, I don't have to do all the other stuff that I have to do with my biological kids. Like, I have the whoopings and the disciplinary things. Like, I don't have to do all that. I get to be fun with them. But in this video, we're going to talk about my 3 children that I birthed, just my experience, pregnancy, labor, and just raising kids. For me, I have 2 girls and a little boy. My oldest child just made 14 on Friday, July 2nd. I have a 2-year-old little boy, and then I have my middle child. She is 7. So I'm like, boom, like I'm hitting all brackets, right? I got a teenager. She's still middle child, middle for real, and then a little baby still, kind of babyish. So I'm like right up in there and all of them. So for me, motherhood is something that I've always thought, or still to this day feel like it's just made for me. I've always loved kids. Anytime you would see me as a little girl, you would see me with a baby in my hand. Like I was holding somebody's baby. I was playing with somebody's baby. I was always good with kids. And so I just always felt in my heart that, I would love to have children and that I would be a pretty good mom. Um, that's when I was a young girl and I thought it was going to be easy and I didn't know about all the stuff that come with being a mom. But motherhood, for the most part, as far as what I've experienced, has been pretty fun. It's pretty fun. It's been challenging. There have been times where, I've shed some tears. And so we're going to get into all of that. Basically, just a backstory. I had my oldest child, which was my more traumatic labor and delivery, because I had eclampsia with her. I almost lost my life. And it was a lot with us. And with that, and being in ICU for a week, and then being in transition from ICU to a regular room for myself to continue to recovery for like a few extra days. So I was probably in the hospital for like 2 weeks. I had to learn to walk again, a little bit of talking again. I had a tube down my throat because I had suffered from about 7 different seizures, burst blood vessels in my brain, because of the seizures and high blood pressure. Now, if you don't know what eclampsia is high blood pressure. And you normally receive symptoms of it during pregnancy where you have headaches, you have high blood pressure, your feet start to swell, your ankles swell. Now, normally in pregnancy, you do get swelling feet and ankles a lot of the times, especially like if you're really on your feet a lot. But with the eclampsia, it's really horrific. I did not have, though, for me, I didn't have the swelling feet or the swelling ankles. When I would go to my prenatal care visits, they never seen any hypertension with me. I didn't have high blood pressure. All my tests were coming back negative for any negative things or anything like they were looking for. I didn't have anything to warn the doctors or let them know, hey, red flags, she may be coming down with preeclampsia. For me, I received the symptoms after I gave birth. So right after I had an emergency C-section and they took my daughter from me, that's when I swole. Like I literally swole my whole body, not just my ankles or my feet. I was like a big balloon. I did not look like myself. My family who came to see me after I gave birth, they could not recognize me. In fact, my grandfather came to see me and he was sitting directly in front of me and he didn't even know that was me laying in the bed. He's just looking around like, okay, like, where's Tracy? That's how drastically different I looked. It took a big toll on my body. After I went home, the very next day I was rushed back to the emergency room where I had seizures. And that was my introduction at 22 years old into motherhood. Okay. Some moms have a different introduction, but mine was a real big smack in your face that, yeah, this is going to be a ride. And the devil really tried his best to take me out when it came to my child in my life. My daughter was perfectly fine. It was just me. So, yes, that was my introduction. 22-year-old young girl who went in the hospital just to have her beautiful little girl and came out with issues with myself. And my daughter was perfectly fine and healthy and everything. It was me who had the health issues. So one advice that I do like to give to women that are pregnant, that's into, going into the stage of motherhood, that any friends or anyone that I know that goes in the hospital or that's pregnant, I always tell them, always check your blood pressure, try to stay away from a lot of sodium, keep yourself calm and at peace. That is very, very important during pregnancy. Like meditate as much as you can, whatever it is that you have to do to keep your body calm, to keep yourself healthy, and also protect the baby. I would say do that. And I'm really, really big on when women are pregnant, I like go into like this like panic thing, like, is your blood pressure okay? Is your feet swelling? Do you have migraines really bad? Do you feel like you're bloating anywhere else? I really, really, really ask a lot of women that because been there, done that, I can write a book on it. Okay. So yeah, that was my introduction. And just going back into motherhood as a young girl, like I stated, motherhood is wonderful, but there's also things that you experience with being a mom that you probably didn't think about when you planned or did not plan to have a child, right? So with all three of my kids, they were planned. With Kamaya, my oldest child, she was basically planned. It wasn't prevented. It was kind of like I felt like I was ready. I thought I was in love. Um, I felt like, what better time than now? But at the end of it all, I never really thought about what I was stepping into when it comes into motherhood. So, for any young women that have decided to be moms and you feel like you're really young, don't think that you can't do it. Don't think that God won't be with you on a journey through it, but just know that there is going to be just that, a journey. And long as you have that in the mindset that everything is not going to be perfect every day and everything is not going to be a bed of roses, and that sometimes you may, feel some kind of way, or, some things may happen and not go the way you plan it, just know that you're strong, that you're a woman, and that God is with you. You're going to be able to do it. And especially if you can have rally around some family or friends, because it really does take a village. And if you can have those type of people around you, it kind of helps ease the process a little bit for you. Not completely, but it would help a little bit more than if you were just alone. And if you are alone, just know that you're never really alone, because God is always there with you. And I know it may sound cliche, but man, I'm not going to go into the full story of my pregnancies. If you want me to, comment below and I can definitely tell you some stories. So I'm not saying this because I just want to say it because it sounds good. No, I'm saying it because I've been there, I've done that, and I experienced it. And so I will not tell you something that I have not experienced, or even speak on some things that I haven't really touched on in my own life. That's the whole purpose of Comfy Convos, for us to be comfortable, to be able to express and talk about things that we've been through and dealt with and have overcome to help someone else, right? So yes, going into that, with me, like I stated, with me having three kids, what I did have to learn in motherhood is that silly old me just really believed that it was going to be boom, 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 like easy peasy, lemon squeezy. I really did. So keep in mind, I have two girls, right? Before I had my son, with my two girls, I always wanted to do the same things for both girls. Okay, I don't know why in my head I just expected Skyla and Kamaya. Kamaya's the oldest, and then there's Sky. I expected them to be the same. And that's one thing that I did have to learn. And I don't know why I thought they were going to be the same, but I just expected my girls to be similar, if that makes sense. And they're far from that. I had to realize that there are two different human beings and that I couldn't operate in motherhood with them the same. One may need it more at a point or a certain time in their life than the other, and one may not require it as much at that point, like the other one probably did at that age, and that's something I had to deal with because my oldest child, she's very laid back, very quiet and reserved. She's just now starting to come into herself, into her own. Whereas my middle child, Skyla, is very outgoing, very bubbly, very girly girl, people person. All those things, and they're completely different, as you can see, and I just expected that I can do what I do with one, I can do for the other. And what my children have taught me with thinking that's not true. Patrice, you're wrong. That's not true. Like, I had to realize that Kamaya required a certain amount of love and attention, and Sky required a different type of love and attention. Um, Something else that I did learn pertaining to my girls is that they both require my time individually. Growing up, my mom, I grew up with my two brothers. I was the middle child. I have an older brother and a younger brother. Later on in life, 15 years later, I did end up having a sister. But prior to her, it was just us three. And at that time, my mom was a single mom for majority of that before my dad came into the picture. And so my mom had to do a lot of things differently when it came to raising us. So when my mom would by her being a single mom, she couldn't purchase or buy us all things at the same time. She would save one check and buy something for one child, another check for the next child, another, check for the last child. And that's how my mom operated when it came to clothing and shoes or whatever we needed. Whereas for me, because I have two girls, I have formed this mindset that I have to do everything for one for the other. And even with my son, it's just if I buy something for one child, I feel like I have to buy something for the other child because I never wanted my girls to feel like I loved one more than the other. I did not have that growing up. I didn't feel like when it came to that my mom didn't love me or care for me. If I can be honest, I was the only girl, so I was the most spoiled for the most part. But I don't know. For me, I decided that with my kids, I try my best to buy them things all at the same time. Um, they've never expressed to me that if I bought one for one, that the other one felt some kind of way. I think I do that because, like, if I buy something for Kamaya and I don't get something for Skylar, she'll be like, "But what about me?" And then it's like, "Oh, I gotta get something for her." And then I guess I don't know, maybe one day or something. So one of the kids said something like that, and it's just stuck with me forever. So that is something that I do with my kids that my mom do be like, "Tracy, you ain't gotta do all of that. Like you do one for one." They understand. But I don't know, that's just how my brain works. And for me, it has worked out for 14 years. I haven't had an issue not being able to purchase something for one and then one for the other. Unless sometimes like my oldest child, she could care less about shopping or clothes or anything like that for the most part. So I kind of get away and slide under the radar with that. If I end up getting something for Sky and Preston and not Mike, she'd be like, "I don't care. Like, just give me the money." Like, she don't really care. But that is something that I have done with my kids. I don't know if anyone can comment below if they have done the same or do the same or, understand where I'm coming from with that. I don't even realize or think that's like a good or bad thing. Maybe unless like financially it's not feasible for you, then you need to pick one and then do the other one next. But if you're blessed to do it, then do it. But that is something that I do with my girls and my son that my mom wasn't able to do with us, but I've been, a little blessed to do it. Now there has been times, let me not lie, because this is gonna be combos, right? There has been times that I had to go to my mom for help because I didn't financially have it to buy things sometimes for my girls. And like I said, I'm just so used to doing it together. So it's been times where I would have to call my mom or uh, like gather up some strength to even contact my grandfather. I would go to my mom and my dad. And then sometimes if my mom and dad was like not in a place where they can help me, which was not often, but if that was the case, I go to my grandpa, but I hate going to grandpa because that's grandpa, but just being honest, there has been times where I didn't have it and I couldn't do it. And I would beat myself up about that. I really would. I used to beat myself up about it. I can honestly say I've gotten so much better with that. So um, I budget better now than I did back then so that I make sure what I know they're going to need, I have it to give. And that's been a main thing that I had to learn in motherhood as well, is budgeting when you have more than one child. Budgeting will be your best friend because you don't only have to take care of them, you got to keep roof over their head, food in the house, their activities, school stuff. So budgeting will be your best friend as a mom. Okay, if you're a first time mom or not, and you're going into your second child, like budget, budget, budget. If you have not become a good buddy with budget, you need to do that because there are going to be some times because you have other things to take care of that you may be a little low on funds. So you just want to make sure you don't add any additional stress to yourself, thinking, because, women, we'll beat ourselves up if we feel like we can't give our kids the best, right? Like we feel like we need to give our kids the world. And if we can't, I know for myself, if I can't do something for my kids, that is like death to me. Like, not to reuse that word, but yeah, I feel horrible. I feel like a horrible mom. And I don't know if any of you mom has come to that stage yet where you just don't feel like you're doing your best, or you're giving your best, or you're exuding the standard that society put on what's a great mom. Just know that if for me, if my kids are breathing, nobody's hurting, everybody's healthy, everybody's alive, got a roof over our head, food in your refrigerator, clothes in your back, shoes on feet, I'm doing a really good job. Go ahead and pat yourself on the back, mom, because you're doing an awesome job. Okay. And so let's go the same thing for my soon and be moms. Like, prepare as much as you can, get everything together. But also keep, start a budget for yourself, because those newbie clothes and those baby clothes, they're only going to wear so many of those outfits, and then they're only going to be in it for so much time before they are poof out of that and into the dang on toddler stage. Okay. That's one thing that I have learned as well, that kids do not stay kids for long. Okay. So don't put so much emphasis on buying a bunch of those cute little clothes right now because, honey, they are not going to be able to wear all those cute little clothes. They're going to be into the toddler stage in the blink of an eye. Okay. Also for the newbie moms, just, take your time, because as we know, after giving birth, some of us go through postpartum depression. I myself have went through postpartum depression, where it's just, I cried every drop of the dime. I was not getting enough sleep. I was not eating like I should. It was just like, no matter what, I just felt like I can do more. I'm not doing enough. Like I said, just take your time, be patient with yourself, be kind with yourself. Rome wasn't built in a day. You're not going to know everything. You can read all the books that you want, which is great to study and do research and, have all the knowledge that you can have. But for me, the best knowledge and the best thing to go off of is just doing it, because your journey is not going to always be the same as the ones in the book, or like someone that comes to you like myself. Like yours may not even be like mine, you know but it's good to have someone to talk to when you're feeling depressed. Have someone, accountability partner. I don't know why I can't ever say that word. That you can rely on, in the sense that sometimes you're just gonna need someone to vent to, someone to talk to, someone to come over and like help you a little bit, make a bottle, change a diaper, allow you to take a shower, sit in the bath. That's another thing that I want us women to take in with motherhood, is finding time for yourself. There is nothing wrong with having a little self-care time for yourself. I believe fully that you need to get a few hours away, so that when you come back, you are fully ready and to tackle any and everything that comes your way. When you are like over consumed with so much, it makes the situation seem worse than what it is. So if you can't leave the home, or you can't go out or do anything like that, go on a vacation, go to a staycation, go out with girlfriends or whatever it is, if you could find a moment at home. Sometimes I find a moment in my bathroom and I'll take a bath. Literally, I would sit in the tub for about an hour with candles lit, music playing. I watch some YouTube and big old bubbles everywhere. And I just have some me time to myself to just relax my mind for a moment, because you're going to need it. And that does not make you a bad mom. It does not make you a bad mom whatsoever. If anyone ever tells you because you need a break that you're a bad mom, I don't know. You may have to question the relationship sometimes with people like that, because I don't think that you're a bad mom if you need a moment to yourself. I think that's normal. Everyone needs a break every now and then. So I would encourage you women to get some moment to yourself, get some self-care time for you. Okay, so also in motherhood, what I have learned, keep in mind, like I told you guys, I have a 14-year-old. And so now I'm in a different stage. Now I know the 2-year-old toddler baby stage, I've been through it twice. I know the middle age where Skylar is, because I've been there once. But I have never ventured into the teenage years. So this is all new to me with my oldest, with the smacking the lips, the rolling the eyes, me having to continually repeat myself 15 million times to do something, clean up something, do your chores, do your homework, help your sister, get your, like, I am going through this thing with her now that is a little funny a little bit to me, where she's developing this tune. Like my grandmother used to say, she's starting to smell herself. So if I tell her to do something, I'm getting a little bit of the attitude, the walking away before I finish a sentence, the closing the door, she don't have to slam it. but just closing the door in the dismissive way, and before I get to showing them what these guns is about, my mother had to give me the rule of thumb to first talk to your kids. Okay, I know some women like, girl, I'm going upside the heads. Okay, I'm grabbing that belt. I'm wrapping it. Look, it's gonna be one of these situations going on. I get it, because I'm there with you. I'm there with you. But sometimes a good conversation would suffice, and we won't have to go from 0 to 100 all the time, ladies. That's what I'm learning. So sometimes, for the most part, if I sit down with my kids and have like a legit conversation with them about what's what and why it is the way it is, it has helped, especially since Kamaya's older, because she understands a little bit more now than she did at a younger age when I try to talk to her. So conversations are a lot better now because she gets it. There are some times she don't, and I have to dig and get a little tougher. And now my cute mommy, sweet mommy talk going to a little bit of a look now. We got different levels, mama, in the game. We go to that look now talk, but for the most part, so far, pray my strength, it has kind of smoothened certain things out, but we have had our hiccups every blue moon. Okay, with the attitude. So for any moms that have teenagers, and that's something that I can use some advice on, like how do you deal with these girls with these smart mouths? I don't even know how my mama dealt with mine, because I had a real smart mouth. I think my mom should have popped me more than she did, to be honest with you. But yeah, speaking to them and being very open and candid with my kids is something that I do a lot of. My mom used to tell us if we wanted to talk about anything that we could always come to her. But I don't know, for most young women, women, if you can remember being young, there were some things you just did not want to tell your mom, And I was a very vocal child. I tell you how I felt and how to get off. I didn't really care. But there were some things I just didn't feel like I could tell my mom. And my mom, she would tell me I could talk to her, but my mom wasn't really like open, because her mom wasn't like the talking mom. Like, she didn't talk to them about a lot of things that was going on. Because, back then, my grandmother was born back. So back then, they didn't talk to their daughters, and women didn't talk about the birds and the bees and boys and the things that's going on. And now we definitely have to talk to our girls more so now, because they're exposed so much with the internet. Like, my kids are exposed. My 7-year-old, my 2-year-old are exposed to be able to just, by using it, they can look up anything. So before they hear it from someone else or get it from the internet, I am very open with my kids about intimacy, when is the best time, boys, what to expect. I am a one-hit quitter. Like, their mother keeps it 100, okay? And I just need them to know. Now, the 7-year-old, I don't go too far in depth. I do it according to their age and what's appropriate for their age. That's based off the type of conversation that I have. Don't get me wrong. I don't think I'm just sitting here just telling my 7-year-old all kind of craziness, okay? Because, no, I'm not doing that. But according to their age, it's, different type of appropriate conversations that's needed. And I definitely make sure that I provide that for them. And I think it's very important, moms, that we are open with our kids, and soon to be moms, that you're open with your children, that they feel comfortable to talk to you about anything and they're not holding in. Because there's so many kids that deal with so much stress, and they get depressed. And a lot of people like to shun kids because they think, oh, they don't know what they're talking about. She ain't been through nothing. She ain't seen nothing. But no, these kids really deal with a lot and have seen a lot. And just think about yourself at their age. What did you deal with? You dealt with some things. I dealt with some things. So I would never say that a kid doesn't have something going on that they may need help with. So I'll definitely say, talk to your kids often and plan dates with your kids individually to get to know that child, because as they grow, they're different, and they're coming to their own, just like we do. As we grow, we're not the same. I'm not the same at 36 as I was at 25. She's not even at 30. She's not even at 35. We evolve, we change, we grow. And so do our kids. So, I would say take that in the bank of knowledge. Just, don't get too consumed with what you got going on and the stress of the world for you, because know that your kids still need you. Um, yeah. So with that, I just wanted to make sure I touched on that. I do also want to make sure I touch on the category of women who, at this stage or point of however long you've been trying, that have not yet been successful with becoming a mom. I have had women in my life who did not have children. Um, Women, so I know some women that didn't even want kids, but they had a very good maternal instinct with me. I've had some moms outside of my mom that played a mom role for me in my life. And as of right now, if you're trying but it's not working, and don't beat yourself up. Don't beat yourself up, because there is someone out there in this world that can use you as a mother in their life, even if you didn't give birth to them. Some women, your role would be able to be a mom in a lot of avenues outside of just biologically giving birth to a child. You may even find yourself being a mom to some young girl or some young adult that didn't have a mom or don't have a relationship with her mom, or just find you more open hearted, that they can come to for guidance and for counseling and for whatever that young lady may need. So just keep in mind and stay strong on the course of still trying if that's what you want to do. But, if for whatever reason it doesn't happen the way you want, know that there is some young girl out there that you can mother and be a mother too. But don't give up hope in being a mother and birthing your own kids and your own child. But know that you can be a mother in many ways than just one. Um, so yes, ladies, I wanted to go ahead and talk to you guys about motherhood. I didn't want to make this video too long. If you want a part two, there's a lot more that I can discuss and talk about. I'll definitely do that. Just comment below. Let me know. I would definitely also put my Instagram. You could DM me as well there. I'm very active on my IG, and you can send me messages. Let me know if there's anything or any other topics you want to go over. All I want to say to you ladies as I end out this comfy convos with you ladies is just stay strong, stay together, stay united, and let's just keep continuing to build this community together. This is such a beautiful thing here that we have that is just like a diamond in our hand, where we can just give sound advice to one another, be there for one another, encourage one another, lift up one another, embrace one another, and just forever love one another. So I thank you guys for tuning in. Like I stated, you guys are so amazing, and I love you, love you, love you so much. Thank you guys so much for tuning into Comfy Combos. See you in the next episode.